Hey guys, Scout here, the Hopeless Wanderer. So where am I today? Well, I am in Cripple Creek, Colorado. I was at Fluorescent Fossil Beds just up the road yesterday. Starting to get cold, dark. The weather wasn't looking super great for me, so I figured instead of riding all the way back down to Colorado Springs, which is about an hour-ish, I would just get a room here. I had some hotel points I could use, so that's what I did. So I am at the Outlaws and Lawmen Museum in Cripple Creek, and this was the Teller County Jail from the late 1800s right up till about 1990, I believe. So it just kind of tells the story of Cripple Creek, how in 1890 there were 15 residents here, and then gold was found. And by 1900 there were 50,000 residents here. There's been some pretty famous people in this jail, one of which was Jack Dempsey. Before he became the world champion, he was arrested for petty larceny and spent, I think, 90 days here. This talks about some really cool information on the walls about some of the interesting laws that were passed to help keep Cripple Creek in order. Now, when the town was first built, it was built very quickly, as most mining towns are. It was built out of wood and natural resources. And in 1896, April of 1896, two forest fires came through and ravaged the town, burnt it to the ground. But the people of Colorado said, nope, we're not giving up. They came back, they rebuilt with brick and mortar, made it more durable, and they really set the stage for this town. This jail was, it was constructed in 1850, or it was constructed for $7,000. Man, wouldn't we like that? Our Ulster County Jail was $100 million. They were paid, the marshals were paid $75 a month to break up the fights and risk their life. These are some of the cells. They swing around here. So, as you can see, in the beginning, they were 6 to a cell here, sleeping on hammocks in there, which might be more comfortable than the beds of some of these. So some of the famous people here were Kid Banks, who was a prize fighter. He was arrested for assault, strangely enough, but became a trustee and was able to work with them. Another famous inhabitant here was James Bacon, who was a Colorado legislator. He was arrested because he blew up his house. They don't exactly know why, but he blew up his house and killed his wife and his stepdaughter. And then kind of went cuckoo, killed himself by Harry Carey, basically. And another famous person was Robert Lee Harpool, who was convicted of double homicide. In 1973, he killed 2 teenagers from Colorado Springs. Now, some interesting things, going back to the gold mining, there was a crime called high grading, and high graders would take and they would hide gold ore. They would hide it in their hats, their pants cuffs, their shoes. Sometimes they would even stash it and come back later for it. And the interesting thing about high grading is it was not considered larceny because gold is considered real estate, not property. So they could be arrested for trespassing, but they could not be arrested for larceny. So that was kind of interesting. It's just really cool. You know me, I love to see the jails. I'm kind of a sucker for it, you know. You'd think I'd get enough of it at work, but here you can see the walkway right down the center. Now the strange thing, they understood that prostitution was bringing in revenue to the town. So they created laws that said that prostitutes had to pay a head tax, they had to go to church on Sundays, and they had to be one location away from Main Street. So they had to be the next street over. But, there have been some pretty famous people come through Cripple Creek. Members of the Wild Bunch were arrested here, after robbing the Union Pacific train up in Wyoming, they came here and spent some of their money, and that's how they got caught. So, yeah, we're just checking things out and gonna take and roll up to Fort Collins from here and see what kind of trouble we can find up there. So for now, I'm Scout. I'm out. Adventure on.